G'day guys, welcome back. A lot of you have been asking for a breakdown of what everything costs that we've done up here.
So we thought we'd just go through why we're here, how we got here, and what it's all cost us.
Righto, let's start off with the why. So we've always wanted more land and a bit more of a peaceful lifestyle. We came from a small block of land back in Perth, Western Australia, and we had about 20 years left on our mortgage down there.
So we both turned 40 this year and we'll do our long service leave. So instead of doing a trip or a lap around the country like most people do, we just reevaluated what we were able to do and what we wanted to do, and ended up moving here instead.
So how did we end up here? Well, we started looking for blocks. We found this one. It was in our price range. So we accessed the equity in our house down in Perth, bought this block of land and secured it. And then we spent the next 12 months or so just researching, planning, and trying to work out exactly what we're going to do to make everything happen so that we could move up here.
Yes, we were able to pick up the block, which is 24 acres, for less than $150,000. Considering it was bare bush, there was no infrastructure, power, water or anything else on it, so we had to take that into consideration as well.
So the 12 months or so that we spent planning and working everything out, we did a lot of calculations, a lot of different options what we're going to do. We kept coming back to the same option and the same rough price, and we added a bit of a safety margin to that, and then we came up with the number for our budget.
So we set the budget at 150 grand.
Fucking how much? Now, if you think that's a lot of money, and if you just spat your coffee out while you're drinking it, we'll go through and break down every little single thing that we spent it on, and you'll see how everything quickly adds up when you've got a project like this on the go. So here we go.
So before we get too far into it, there's a couple of things that weren't in the 150,000. So we had previously set up the power and put a bore on this property last year, so that didn't come into our 150k budget. We also had long service leave for about 6 months between us, so we knew that we didn't have to get jobs straight away, and we had the time when we got here to build everything and organise things, so we didn't have that financial pressure on us. And also out of our budget we did put $10,000 away for bills and just life things that might have come up, so we had that safety net before we even started spending money on the block.
So there we go. Out of the 150 grand, the first $10,000 got put aside as bill money for when we were moved up here and started doing things. So there you go, 10 grand down the hole straight away.
So the first thing we had to do was buy a sea container to pack all of our stuff in and get that shipped up here when we're ready to move. So all up that was about $13,000 for freight, transport and the container itself. We had to choose a house or buy a house. That was $44,500, and then delivery to get it dropped out to us was about $1,000 or so.
Yeah, all the deliveries have been via a tilt tray or a truck with a high ab for some steel deliveries, so we've had quite a few trucks running backwards and forwards, so that adds up quickly with those sort of delivery costs.
The house originally wasn't coming with the hot water system and aircon inside it. We did end up getting them included in the end, but we did also have to put $1,000 aside in our budget for those. Didn't end up spending it, but it covered the delivery.
With a lot of things that we did, we planned for one thing, something else happened. So some things came in under budget, some things slightly over, but they sort of evened out as we went along.
And then we needed something for water, so we had to buy water tanks. That was $6,000 plus another $500 to get them delivered as well.
And that was for 3 12,000 litre tanks. We've got 2 up here at the house and 1 down at the other end of the property. We probably could have got away with less tanks or bigger tanks, but it was more a delivery and logistics things. The 12,000 litre tanks we can shift when they're empty on a trailer ourselves, and we didn't know where they were going to go, so we decided to go with 3 smaller tanks rather than trying to get 1 very large tank up our steep driveway and up here. So yeah. Alright, so once we got the house delivered, set up, folded out, all that, then we had to get the electricity connected from the pole out the front to the house itself.
The connection into the house was about $1,500. That included the aircon being installed as well. And on top of that was an extra $5,000 that we spent on generators. The power was not always reliable when you're this far out of places, so
yeah, we decided to go with the generator backup system. We've got a plug on the back of the house. If the power goes out, we can plug the generators into the house and still run everything. So yeah, that was another $5,000. We decided to get 2 of the Honda 2.2 kVA generators. I've got a parallel kit where you can join them together, so you end up with 4,000 or 4 kVA. If I had bought the more expensive generator, the next one up was a 3 kVA, and it was the same price as 2. So you get a little bit extra power, but you've got 2 separate generators. So that's
for the same
yeah,
price.
for the same price basically.
So there you go. So all up the electrical connection, including those, was $6,500 to the house. And then we had our plumbing costs. That includes the pumps to get the water into the tank from the bore, and then up to the house.
So it's quite a long way.
Into the house.
Yeah. So the bore's all the way down the other end. We had to buy a whole bunch of poly pipe to get the water up to the tanks at the top.
So a few things may have been forgotten in that process, but so the pump for our bore was $1,900. That's a solar pump, and the solar panels to power that were about $850, not including the rails that Ian sourced after the fact. So what were they?
I don't know, another couple of $100.
Couple of $100 or something.
All these prices are just sort of pretty rough, but close enough.
The blue line poly, we had 800 metres of that. That was $1,400 to buy the pipe. And then you've got all the fittings, which we estimate hundreds of dollars worth of fittings.
Multiple hundreds of dollars, yes.
So all of that, the bore pump, the solar panels, the poly and the pipe fittings was about just under $4,200. And then for the house, so that was just for the bore. For the house, we had a $650 expense for a pressure pump. We had more poly pipe and fittings, so there's about $400 worth there. We have a water filter on the house. That was about $300 from memory.
Got a couple of hose reels, taps, just random bits and pieces, and they all add up quickly.
So we think it was about $1,300. It may have been a little bit more, but from what we can gather from our Bunnings bills, Bunnings receipts.
Alright, so that's the house and getting water up to here basically. Then we started work on the deck and the patio, but first of all we had to get the concrete poured. So what did that set us back?
So the concrete was $8,000. It is 10 by 4.
Yeah, 40 square metres, 100 mil thick.
Yeah.
It included a bunch of footings and that, plus the 2 footings out the front and rear of the house. So yeah, there you go. Goodbye, $8,000.
Yeah. That's on top of that, we did also supply some beer. So
plus a couple of cartons of beer for the boys who did the concreting.
So, but once that was done, then the patio and the decking got built. So we spent about $8,000 between 2 separate deliveries for the steel. The sheets were about $5,000, plus then a delivery fee of about $600 to get them out here because they were too long to pick up. And the decking was about $3,000.
Yeah. Alright, so after we got all the patio and the deck built, moved on to some other projects. We did some fencing. You've probably seen the fence out the front, fence around the veggie garden. There's also another fence that we haven't shown you around a large veggie garden that we have been working on, but we'll get to that later on. So all up, that was about $2,500 for star pickets, wire mesh. We bought the little spray unit that I probably posted the video for about, and the poison. So there you go, goodbye, another $2,500 on that day, lovely.
And then there are some other bits we bought that we kind of needed, and some of them we just wanted. I'll just go through them. I'll say whether it was a need or a want, but it came out of our budget because we thought we needed it. Maybe you didn't. So we had to buy bins. There's no rubbish service out where we are, so we needed to buy our own rubbish bins. So we bought 3. I
I
think.
we got 2 from Bunnings, and then we found someone who was selling second-hand ones.
Yeah, so there was $200 or $300 just to buy.
Bins. Yep.
That was a need. Our toilet, the unit did come with a toilet. We mentioned that before. We have got a green loo composting toilet. That was $17.50.
It was on sale. I think they're about $2,000 normally. So,
yeah.
But
that was a need. The fire unit that Ian built, that was definitely a need because of where we are.
Yeah, you got to be able to. Well, if you're just burning off or whatever, you got to be able to keep the fire under control. And if there is a fire, which actually happened the other week, a controlled burn just down the road, got out of control and was only 2 blocks away from us, so I had to take the fire unit down along with the neighbour and help out there before the bushfire brigade came and got it under control. So you've got to sort of have a fire unit for this sort of property. What did that cost all up? I don't remember.
So the fire unit pump, the IBC, and the hose reel, like the firefighting hose reel, $11.50.
And then I built the frame of the trailer out of the steel, same steel that the patio and that's built out of. Plus I had the axle and a hitch that I bought along with us in the sea container. So they are essentially free. I did pay for them many years ago.
And the tyres.
Oh, and the wheels and tyres, obviously.
We kind of have a few wants on here that are also needs. We couldn't tow everything up between us. We had to get rid of our trailer. All we brought with us was our little tinny and the caravan. So getting here we needed a trailer, so we had to buy a trailer when we got here.
That was one of the first things that we did on about day 2 of being here. Went into town and bought a trailer. How much was that?
$4,000.
That was $4,000. Decided to buy a new trailer because I didn't want to buy a second-hand one and then have trouble with wheel bearings and stuff. So decided to buy a new one. So probably could have got away with cheaper, but we didn't.
The next thing we bought that maybe was more of a want than a need, but it's handy.
Let's talk about this. Yeah.
Was an excavator.
So we talked about buying a machine a lot when we were doing this, and then we decided to buy one when we were here, but we only took $10,000 out of the $150,000 to pay for that excavator. It did not cost $10,000, but we took $10,000 out of that budget.
In saying that, if you weren't handy and you had to pay labourers to come and build your patio, or tradies to come and do more work for you than what we've had, you probably would spend that $10,000 in that anyway.
Oh, you would spend
more.
The fact that me, you, and Declan have done essentially everything except the concreting has saved us a hell of a lot of money rather than paying people to do it. So that's another thing you've got to consider if you're thinking about doing something like this.
And then it's not a need, but I wanted to start my veggie patch, and we have a lot of termites and rock, and anyway, so I bought these, they're from Birdies, they're raised garden planters for my veggie patches. They were $665 for 4. They were on sale. So we had to get those and then landscaping material to fill them, and we got some concrete mix so that Ian could do some footings around the other things that he's built off the caravan roof and the carport.
I think it was about $450 for the load of garden soil and about $140 for the concrete sand mix, plus a couple of delivery fees. I don't know what that is. But
so there's another grand
easy
for things.
You'll buy 1,000.
Some other bits we needed was wardrobes, because it's no storage in here, so we had to buy furniture that fitted this little house.
You would have seen a lot of it when we did our house tour video.
On top of that, things we needed were screws, paint, other bags of concrete, welding wire. We had to buy a barbecue because we sold our camper and that had the barbecue in it. We had to buy plants, we had to buy some lights, we had to buy a vacuum cleaner, we had to buy some torches, we had to buy heaps of mozzie stuff.
Mozzie coils, yeah.
The dam sealer.
Yeah.
We had Territory Day, so we
allocated a bit of a budget for that, didn't we?
For Territory Day. Yeah. We bought some fishing gear. We bought a trail cam. So there's about $8,000 of that stuff.
Just extra bits and pieces. The amount of trips to Bunnings, they should roll out the red carpet when I arrive there.
So you may not need all of those last few things that we said, but we did, and we
there
wanted
will,
to treat ourselves.
there will definitely be things if you do something like this that you don't think of, so you need to just allow some extra money for all those things that that aren't big ticket items, but you end up needing them.
So after going through all that, including the things that were wants, that's $141,655 out of our 150K.
And then we bought the buggy.
Oh!
Yeah, you would have seen, maybe you've seen the video about it. We bought the little Polaris buggy. That was $7.5 grand. So all of a sudden that takes us all the way up to almost 150. And then there's a few other bits and pieces that we've sort of forgotten. We didn't write down every single thing, but...
So yeah, that's how we spent our budget, and it works for us, and you may not need everything that we spent it on.
So before we did all this, we sat down, added everything up so many times that it always came to about $130,000, and essentially that's what everything has cost. Then you take out $10,000 of that money that we spent on the excavator, $7,500 on the buggy, and then a few $1,000s in just random bits and pieces that we probably didn't need, but did anyway. We're right at the budget that we set ourselves for the project. So did we need a buggy? No, but we've got one. So
but it's handy.
It's very handy. All right, so there you have it. That's our how much it costs video. We had a lot of different options that we could have gone with when we took on this project. This is the one we chose. We're very happy with it. Other people might not like it, but boo-hoo to them.
And doing all this, the main reason we did it all is to be debt free. So we no longer have a mortgage. We didn't come up here with loans or anything like that. We did it all with our own profit from our sale of our house, our savings, and a bit of blood, sweat and tears.
Yep, and now we are debt free, mortgage free, 40 years old. Can't complain about that.
Yep, it's good.
Anyway, we'll take you outside for a quick look at the carport, which I finished the other week, but probably haven't shown you. Alright guys, I forgot one thing. The carport itself was never part of the original budget. We just thought if we had some money left over. So once we'd done all the other construction, we realised we probably could afford to do it. Bought some extra steel and tin and built it. So now we've got some undercover parking for the upcoming wet season. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there. Alrighty, there you can see in the background, Shen's car is fully undercover. The sheets are all on, it's all painted and it works well. There's enough room for Shen's car plus the buggy, which is parked out here, but there's enough room on the other side to get that under too. So carport worked out great. Thanks for watching. Wave, Shaz.
Show them my sunflower.
Oh, we also planted some sunflowers. So goodbye, see you on the next one.